Okay, so the title is a bit strong. Intimacy is not intercourse. But I think this is really important for us to talk about what intimacy really is. What are we looking for at a deeper level in our relationships? Stay tuned at the end of the video for the connection question. It's going to be very, very fun, very cool, and you'll see what that's all about. Also, some information on how to refresh your date night. So I was on a podcast the other day. I was being interviewed as the relationship coach. And one of the questions that was asked was, what makes a good relationship? You know, this is a great question because there's not one answer, and it's really different for different people because different people need different things in relationships in order to feel safe and connected and close and a deeper love. So passion is one thing, and with passion, right? Who doesn't love that first at least 6 months of a relationship where those hormones are just raging? Yes, but those can't stay consistent forever. So we go into intimacy, which is a deeper, stronger foundation of connection with somebody. Here's a definition for intimacy, and I really like this. It's knowing and being known, seen, accepted, and loved for who we are at a deeper level. I love this definition. It's like taking your mask off. So for me, I was like, this is the kind of relationship I want to have. I want me some of that. I want to be able to know what it feels like to be connected to somebody, like you see these couples who've been married forever, or that whenever you see couples together that have been married for a long time, or just together for a long time, and they still look at each other with that little twinkle in their eye, and when they talk about each other, that it's just so beautiful. And I wanted me some of that. So investigating intimacy and how to connect with people at a different level, it does take time. It does take some self-work because you want to be intimately connected with yourself as well as someone else. And I love the word that it takes cultivation. And cultivation for me means you kind of got to dig deep and pay attention and look a little deeper. That also comes in real handy when I use my SVS method that y'all have heard about, self-awareness, vulnerability, and speaking the truth for my coaching. In vulnerability, we dip our toe into that intimacy. We start to be able to be seen by ourselves and accepting what's there, and we start to see others at a deeper level. Now, y'all know how much I love me some Brene Brown. I'm going to give you her definition of what it feels like to love, and then we're going to go into a little bit of the different types of intimacy. So for Brene Brown, and I'm just going to read it to you. I love that she says, we cultivate love when we allow our most vulnerable, powerful selves to be deeply seen and known, and we honor that deep or spiritual connection that grows from that offspring of trust, respect, kindness, and affection. I love that because it's almost visual for me. Like you go deep and you feel seen and you see somebody at a deeper level, and it creates this offspring of residual feeling of connection and love. I like that very much. Let's talk a little bit about the different types of intimacy. I'm going to give you 4. Oftentimes they're broken down into a lot more, but I'm going to give you the 4 that I think are the main crux. Now, we all experience love and connection differently. And I'll tell you after I read these which one is mine. You might have a little bit in each one of these, but one is probably the strongest for you. First is spiritual intimacy. And this is when you all have a shared belief in the same thing, whether it's something that's bigger than the both of you, or that is really deep and connects you to spirit or God, or just even a way of being that is for the greater good. So this would be more of a spiritual intimacy. Then there's physical intimacy, which can be intercourse. It can also be just patting somebody on the butt when you walk by him in the kitchen, which is what I do to David quite often. So it's really about physical touch, though. Hand holding, cuddling, all of those things. Then there's emotional intimacy. And this is kind of more the one that we were describing earlier, with that really taking the mask off and being vulnerable. So if that's what you really need in a relationship, to feel close to somebody, that you really have to be able to just feel really seen and really heard and be able to be any single way, ugly, pretty, sad, whatever, and you're seen and you feel loved, that's emotional intimacy. And the last one is intellectual intimacy. And this happens to be the one that is most important for me. And this is sharing ideas, expressing thoughts and opinions, having a mutual understanding of what you think about things, and being able to discuss those. I know for me, my partner, and not everybody has this, has to be able to have really deep conversations with me. The good news is you find somebody that is the same, and you aren't exhausting each other, and you're able to connect in a really good way. You're not at odds with what really fills you up in those ways. So these are some definitions of intimacy. It's not easy creating a really deep and intimate relationship. I think it's a lifelong process. I know I've started it with myself a long time ago, and I continue to do it deeper and deeper in my friendships and with my relationship with David. But it takes time and energy and, like we said, cultivation. So what are some of the ways we can do that? Well, I'm going to actually start a refresh your date night. And it's going to be really fun. We're going to get together, and stay tuned for details. But basically, we'll be getting together and we'll be having a little bit of information about tools for relationships that come up a lot for us, and things that come up and how we can respond to them. And also, we'll be practicing a little bit. So it's going to be really fun. I'm going to now introduce to you what I'm really excited about. It's called the question of the week, the connection question. So every week at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a connection question. And this is a question that you can ask your mate or your friend or anybody that you want to practice going deeper in intimacy with. The connection question this week is, what kind of animal would you say I would be if you could pick any animal? And you ask this to your friend or your partner. Now, you're not allowed to say cat or dog, because that's just too easy. The key to this is, you guys, give your person time to process this and really think about it. So you might ask the question and then say, let's think about this week. And then whenever on Friday, when we're out, having our little date night or whatever, let's come back to the question and see what we came up with. Remember, your partner is doing the best that they can. And the goal for this is to really just start conversations. It's not to really get them to give such a great answer that you feel so good about yourself. This is a way to start connecting and having a conversation. So I had to think about this a lot. And so for me, for David, he would be an elephant. And he would be an elephant because he's wise, and he's just got this older kind of wisdom about him. And he's got this real easygoing, even though he's 6'5", he's got a real easygoing kind of lumbering way about him, and he's wise. And at his core, he is just the softest, sweetest person I think I know. Plus, again, he is 6'5", so he's really big, so that helps too. So something like that might be a good answer for that. Anyway, if you want to see more of the videos, go to on YouTube, Lari Coaching, and let me know what you guys come up with your questions of the week and how that comes out for you. And if you go to Lari@laricoaching.com and give me your email address, I'll make sure that I get these videos in your inbox every week. All right, guys, have a great week.